Today, we're going to learn about consecutive integers and number theory. So, what are consecutive integers? They're integers that increase in value. So, for example, n plus 1, and n plus 2. N being a value of an integer, and we can give any value. So, if it were 2, then this would be 2, 3, and 4. So, this is consecutive integers. Consecutive even integers are integers that are only even numbers. So in this case, it would have to be n plus 2, n plus 4, and etc., etc. The reason why is because if you chose 2, then you'd have 4, 6, and then 8, etc., etc. These are all even numbers. So they have to be in increments of 2, otherwise they won't be even numbers. And thus, these are consecutive even integers. And finally, we have consecutive odd integers, which are similar in that it's the same equation as the consecutive even integers, but you just have to start with an n value that's odd. When you add two odd values, they stay odd. So this would be 1, 3, and 5. So these are consecutive odd integers. So I have three little tricky problems here, and we're going to figure out how to solve them. Find three consecutive odd integers with a sum of negative 39. The odd integer sequence would be n plus 2, and n plus 4. And so this is going to have to equal negative 39. This means that we can actually add it up. N plus 2, n plus 4. And we're going to have 3n plus 6 is equal to negative 39, which results in 3n is equal to negative 45. And so we're going to get n is equal to negative 15. Now, if we were to plug this back into the equation for n, we would get n plus 4, which is negative 11, n plus 2, which is going to be negative 13, and n, which is negative 15. So these are our three numbers. Next, we have find a number that when doubled and subtracted from 12 is negative 24. So first, let's write this in terms of equation. A number that when doubled and subtracted from 12 is negative 24 would be 12 and then minus this random number, x that's doubled. So x is doubled, and that's going to be equal to negative 24. So to solve this, let's subtract 12 from both sides. We're going to get negative 2x is equal to negative 36. And let's divide both sides by negative 2. It's going to be x is equal to 18. So that's our answer. And lastly, we have 17 is 13 subtracted from 6 times what number? 17 is equal to 13 being subtracted from 6 times of what number? So 6 times, let's say, y, and 13 is subtracted from it. So we have 13 here. So let's add 13 to both sides. And we get 30 is equal to 6y. And to isolate y, let's divide both sides by 6. And we're going to get y is equal to 30 divided by 6 is 5. So that's our answer.